Well, appreciate you guys coming out as always. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving holiday. I'm sure the belt loop, you had to move up one after Thursday. I know I did, but really pleased with the win tonight. A lot of respect for what Rashawn's doing over there at Northern Illinois. I mean, what he's built over these last couple years. They got a lot of talent. I mean, you see out there, they got Big Ten bodies, Big Ten athletes. Obviously, Coit is a tremendous player, Nutter. And then Amos, man, as a local product, young guy, I mean, he was incredible tonight with 26 points. Felt like he couldn't miss, and his length and athleticism. So anyway, we knew this was going to be a tough game. We prepared hard for these guys. I thought in the first half we got off to a very good start, and then foul trouble kind of disjointed us again. It's kind of been a bugaboo with Ryan, a little bit with Boo, those two guys. Getting those fouls early in the game. It's hurting our rotations with our subs. We're getting more young guys on the floor, and I thought Northern took advantage of that. When we had that, that Tai went down with the ankle for a few minutes. I thought we were playing very well. And then during that stretch, they were able to get a great rhythm, and obviously giving up 42 in the first half, way too much. We talked about that at halftime. We felt like offensively we had a good game plan and we could get stuff that we could keep scoring. It was going to be about could we get the stops, and to hold them to 25 in the second half. We talked about with Coit, you're not going to shut him out. He's too good of a scorer, but can you make him take more shots than points? And he gets 12 points on 13 shots. So when you can do that with a great scorer, I feel like you've done the job. And then a lot of contributions from a lot of guys. Great to see Matt playing like that, right? I mean, he's been working really hard to get himself back in really good shape. I thought he ran the floor well tonight. Obviously, it was good to see him playing above the rim again. We hadn't seen that, so far, but he's working, and he's putting the time in. It's paying off. Him and Boo have a great connection with those lobs. And what impressed me even more, and you guys know, Matt is such a good passer, and we play through him a lot, at the elbows and the high post. And he gets 6 assists and no turnovers, which is a really a job well done. Obviously, Boo, fantastic. I thought he was dominant tonight, plus 32 when he's on the floor. Just 23-7. I mean, his little burst there in the second half got us the separation we needed. And I thought Tai was fantastic. Tai, he made shots. He got 5 steals. And he was primarily the guy we had on Coit. So his defense in those pick and roll actions was awesome. But overall, really good team. Good to see Luke come in, give us 8 good minutes in the second half. All hands on deck kind of thing. I just kind of had a hunch in the second half. He's been practicing well. Give him a little run there, and I thought he came in and gave us great minutes. So really good win. Excited, and nice to always follow up when you lose a game. To come back and not let one turn into 2. So good job tonight by our guys.
Alex?
Coach, coming off a couple games in Connecticut where he might not have been at his best, can you talk a little bit more about Boo's performance tonight and then the significance he started now 100 games under you?
That's pretty incredible, and it's, I was just thinking about it the other day. I've been a pretty lucky guy. I look over when we go to practice at times, and, at the point guard position, I've had 5 years of Bowie and 4 of McIntosh, and that's been something that's been really good for us. But Boo is a fantastic player. He's worked his butt off, to become the level of player that he is. I know he didn't feel great about how he played against Mississippi State. Like a lot of us, we felt that was a game we could have got and kind of let it get away from us there the last 8 minutes. But he had a good week of practice. It was nice to kind of work on us for a few days. And you always, a player like Boo, if he has a game or two where maybe he's not at his very best, he's going to bounce back. And I just thought his decision-making tonight was great. He found the right guys, and then, he shot the ball incredibly well and got into the paint, which was awesome.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned Ryan's foul trouble, but you had 5 players score over double digits in points. How important is that, especially with conference play starting up on Friday, having those multiple conference?
Yeah, you got to have balance. I think it's very important. That's what you saw with Northern tonight. They had 5 guys averaging double figures coming into the game, and we were able to hold a couple of those guys down. They only had 3 that got to double. But for us to have 5 in double figures, one of them not being, and then Ryan being the 6th, we know he's going to have plenty of nights where he's there as well. So. We need that balance. We've talked about it. It can't just be the Buie and Barnheiser show, offensively. And there's going to be nights, too, where people take those guys away. That's why I thought Nick's offense in the first half was huge. I think he gave us 9 points there, in the first half when Brooks was kind of struggling to get going. And then, Tai rolled his ankle, and we were needing some points. And I thought, Nick's a guy that, I'm really high on. He's coming off an injury, so he's still kind of working himself back. But to come in and give us those 11 points, I thought was huge off the bench.
Coach, Boo in the first half, 7.6 assists, and then sort of turns it on and goes to 16 points, 1 assist in the second half.
Yeah.
What does that say about his ability to be a top-end scorer and a top-end facilitator?
Well, I think it's something he's learned. I think he came in as a volume scorer, and he's really learned how to become a point guard, which is a testament to him. It's a testament to our staff working with him, developing him. His watching film, learning the game, learning when to pick and choose his spots. I mean, early in the game, the rolls, Matt's rolls, guys, coming shaking to the top for threes, and then it opened up the floor for him in the second half where he could get to the basket, but then also make some threes and get fouled. So he kind of has learned now as a fifth-year senior what the game is calling for, and we've talked about it. Sometimes the game might call for him to get 10 points and 14 assists, right? And if that's the case, if they're going to take the ball out of his hands, then we got to play that way, and other guys got to do the job. And fortunately tonight he was able to have not only big scoring numbers but also assist numbers.
To the middle. Coach, after maybe a slowish or sluggish start to the season offensively for Tai, now 3 straight games of double-digit scoring, he's kind of starting to feel himself. How big is that?
Huge. I mean, I've been the first person. I mean, I'm a huge Ty Berry fan. I always have been. He's an X factor for us. And when Ty, I don't know what the numbers bear. I'm not a crazy analytics guru. I like looking at it and some, but I haven't seen, usually when Ty's in double figures, usually it bodes well for us. And so to have him come out, what I loved was he got him in other ways, right? He got a pull-up jumper, he got 5 steals, he got on the break, got a couple layups, got a backdoor cut. It wasn't just threes only. He was a well-rounded player tonight, and his defense was fantastic on Coit.
To the back.
Coach, you mentioned that the offense can't just be the Buie and Barnheiser show. In the first half, team plus 11 with Buie on the court, but ended up going into the locker rooms down a point. What do you guys think you need to do in order to sort of ride the wave when Bowie's out and keep the team afloat?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great question. We need other guys to step up during those times. The problem was Ryan then had 2 fouls. Brooks was kind of struggling to get going. Boo's second foul was one he's got to walk away from. I think he lost the ball and then kind of tried to get it back, and it was 94 feet from the basket. And, I thought Nick, like I said, his scoring kind of helped us during that spurt. But, everyone knows how important Boo is to us, and every team we play is going to try to take him out of the game. A big way they're going to try to do that is get him in foul trouble, right? So then he's got to come out, and he's got to be smart with that. And then we have to keep developing, the rest of our team. Jordan Clayton as a freshman, he's getting valuable minutes, come in, able to be solid defensively and run the team. And he was able to get a pull-up jumper, which was great to see. And that's where the team comes in. Those other guys got to step up when he's off the floor, so that when we do have to rest him, because he's not Boo plays really hard. He can't be a 40-minute a night guy. I'd like to get him in big games. Can we get him 32 to 34 minutes, where you get him 6 to 8 minutes a half, 3 to 4 minutes each half off the floor. And with that being said, then those 8 minutes he's out, we got to make sure that, the house doesn't burn down, so to speak, and we'll keep working at that.
Louis?
You got Big Ten play opening Friday with Purdue. How do you feel about your team going into the Big Ten season here? And where do you feel confident? Where do you think you might need some work?
I haven't heard of Purdue. Are they any good? They have any good players? I think our guys are excited. It's always kind of weird, when to jump into Big Ten play so early. But I know this is a game our guys are really excited. Hopefully the fans are excited. Hopefully the students are excited. I'm a basketball junkie, so I watch a lot of hoops. That was the one thing about being off kind of feast week. I had a chance to watch a lot of ball when I was on my treadmill at home. So I'm not sure I've seen a team as well-rounded right now at this point of the season. I mean, they are the best team in the country. There's no question they've added to what they had last year. Their guards are another year older. Their freshman guards are now sophomores. Lance Jones, what he brings to the table. And Edey, guys, he just, in all my years, I'm not sure I've faced a more dominant player in all my years, and that's saying a lot, because when I played against Tim Duncan, Rasheed Wallace, Joe Smith, some pretty good bigs in my day playing, and have never coached against Shaq, or played against Shaq, but I've never seen someone distort the game in a positive way more than I've seen Zach Edey over these last couple years. His size and his skill, he makes every free throw, so it's not like you can foul him. He's become a better passer, and the guys around him are better. So we're gonna have our hands full. They're tremendous. They're super well coached. They're playing as well as anybody in the country, but that's why it's exciting to play. That's why our guys work. You want to have an opportunity to play against the best, and we're gonna have that chance here on Friday night. We're gonna need all hands on deck with fans, students, coaches, players, media, everybody, if we want to give ourselves a chance, because they're that good.
The back. Coach, I know, excuse me, I know you mentioned the key to the second half was kind of stopping some of those bigger guys from NIU. Just kind of elaborate on what adjustments really went right for those guys in the second half, for you guys in the second half.
Well, I thought in the first half we were doing a pretty good job, and then we lost Coit a couple times off penetration. I call them broken plays, where the play was and then we just kind of lost him, and he made 2 threes. We never really had an answer for Amos all night. I felt like he made everything he shot. He was fantastic, but I thought we did a really good job on Niederhauser. We did a good job on Geberwitt. He was coming in, averaging 12, 13 a game. He only gets 1 basket. And then Nutter, he's just a big, strong, physical wing, and he played really well. But again, they're averaging, I think, close to 90 a game. So to hold a team averaging 90 to 67, 25 in the second half. The main thing is we didn't want to get strung out in all their ball screen coverages. We didn't want to be, we tried to stay a little bit more compact with our ball screen coverage. We weren't as hedging as hard, and our big guys were staying into the paint and staying close to the basket where they could be a little bit more of a presence. And thought our guys, for the most part, did a really good job second half defensively. I mean, they got what they wanted in the first half, but second half, they held them to 37% and only 1 3. Really good job on that end.
Coach, you talked about Jordan a little bit earlier, but a couple times in the first half it looked like he was cheating over in passing lanes a little bit late to recover the point. He hits a couple threes.
Yep.
You kept him in the game, but what are kind of those teachable moments? What are the lessons to him as he continues to grow as a freshman and with Big Ten play?
Yeah, I mean, any game experience for young guys is great, and he'll learn from it. I love Jordan. He's a tough-minded guy. He's very coachable. He got lost a couple times there. I think 2 with Coit and then 1 with Amos. I think that was 3 threes. That's 9 points. And what young guys don't understand is 9 points is huge. Like you just think, oh, I just gave up a 3. No, it is a big deal, and it can change a game momentum-wise. And that was the stretch where they got the lead. Coit's 2 threes and then Amos, but he's going to learn. He's a guy that works hard. These are great, experiences for him to get out there and play. And we need him. We need his minutes. Like I said, I mean, Boo, Ryan, Tai, they can't play 40 minutes a game. We need him to be able to come in and steady the ship and be solid defensively and make positive plays when he's in. And I'm confident that he will.
Time for a couple more. Aisha.
Yeah, Coach, can you kind of just talk about how non-conference play over the past few weeks has helped in preparation for conference play, obviously on Friday? You've had games where you've come back down double digits and others where you started off on 22 to 3 runs, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think if you look at our schedule, I think we've played better teams, maybe than we have in some of the previous years. Like, I think this NIU team is a very good team. Obviously, Dayton coming in here, tremendous team, has a chance to win the A-10 this year, playing Rhode Island and Mississippi State in A-10 and another A-10 and then a top 25 SEC opponent. I think we've tested ourselves well here in these first 6 games. And to be 5-1, obviously you're greedy. You want to be 6-0, but to be 5-1 in those stretches and like you said, have to win them different ways. Have to grind out a Western Michigan game when we can't throw it in the ocean and things aren't going well and they're getting confidence. we had tons of game pressure on us. You know, we started the season Binghamton, and they're up 12 in the first half, and we had to kind of work our way back into that game. So we've had a number of different games. I thought, you know, we're getting better. There's no question. I'm seeing signs where we're not close to where we need to be for the meat of Big Ten play. But we're going to do our best over these next 3 days to get ourselves ready to play Friday, and then we have 5 more, you know, non-conference games before we get back into the league that are all going to be very important as well.
Last question, Will.
Coach, it seems very daunting going up against the number 1 team in the country, but they were the number 1 team in the country last year when they came to Welsh-Ryan, and obviously you guys beat them. And so what's the message over the next 4 days to your team?
Well, just not to make the game bigger than it is. You know, I think you have a tendency, guys are going to be excited. I'm not going to have to give any major motivational pep talks, you know, with the environment that's going to be in here. And, you know, they know what kind of team Purdue is. It's a new year. They're new. We're new. You know, we're a different team. They have some guys, a lot of guys back. We have a lot of guys back, but we're nowhere near the same teams that we played, you know, last Super Bowl Sunday or whatever it is. And, you know, we're just going to have to dive into the tape. Honestly, guys, like I've watched Purdue play a little bit in Maui, but like when you're a coach, like I've been working hard on NIU because I knew how good these guys were, and we tried to put a game plan together, and our staff did. Where, you know, and now that we've gotten through this game and gotten a win, we got 3 days here to get ourselves in a position to try to put a game plan together to be ready to play. But I'd be shocked if I have to give some Newt Rockne motivational. If you got the number 1 team coming in with the best player in the country, you should be really ready to play. And I know our guys will be. You just can't let that excitement get you out of character. You know, sometimes when you do that, you take quick shots. You're excited. You make excitable plays because it comes from a good place. And that's where you just got to lock into the game plan, got to lock into what we're doing as a team, and understand that, you know, it's a Big Ten game, and we got to come out and we got to battle for 40 minutes.
That'll wrap us up.
All right.
Coach,
Thanks, guys. See you Friday, guys.
Bo, your 100th career start in a Northwestern uniform. Can you talk about what that means, and then also just your 10-point burst to kind of start the second half and what you were seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know it was my 100th start, but obviously this place is super special to me. You know, that's a huge reason why I came back for my 5th year. So, you know, just super thankful for the opportunity to be here and compete every year with my teammates and new teammates. So yeah, that's awesome for.
Oh, and then like with the second half, you had the 10-point burst to start. Just kind of what you saw from the team in its response.
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of, you know, just came out. We had a talk at halftime, and you know that we knew that we could score, but we were gonna have to come out and get stops. So we just prided ourselves on coming out and getting some stops, and then, you know, Coach called some plays, and, you know, I was able to get downhill and score, or, you know, hit some threes. But, you know, Coach was doing a great job of calling plays, and I was just trying to do what the defense was giving me.
Yeah, for either of you, you guys had 5 scorers who surpassed double digits in scoring. Can you kind of talk about how important that is, especially with, not with conference play starting up on Friday, just like picking up off of? Yeah,
I mean, it's really important. You know, I think it just makes us super versatile offensively, and, you know, you're going to have to guard every position. Yeah, I mean, you know, it shows our ball movement, and, you know, when guys are getting double figures, a lot of guys getting double figures, that really shows like our connectedness and our unselfishness. And, you know, on any given night, any of us could go off for 20. So, you know, we're just always trying to make the right play and the right shot.
All right.
Matt, you had 15 points, 6 rebounds. We also added 6 assists. Can you just talk about how that offense is elevated whenever you're able to add your playmaking?
Yeah, like this kind of piggybacks off of our last one. Everybody's able to make those shots, which really opens up everything. Because if I got mine going, they're going to have to help on crash down. That opens up people to go hit their shots. So just finding open people and being unselfish is just kind of what happens from that.
No.
You guys had the lobs working all night. Can you talk about how that's sort of developed over time? Because you can kind of see it over the past 2 years, how that's sort of evolved into a really effective play.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's 7 foot for a reason. So, you know, you want to get him the ball at the highest point. There's not many people who can jump up there and get it at the same point as him. So, you know, it's really just all about making a read. You know, if in our ball screen, if you're going to help too much, then, you know, I'm going to throw a lob. And if you don't, you know, I can get to my floater. Or or just make the right read out of a ball screen. But Matt he did an excellent job tonight, just rolling really hard to the rim and putting pressure on that big man, making him have to make a decision whether to guard me or guard him. And I think that they were a little focused on me, so that play was open a lot.
Hey, Boo, one of the things Coach Collins said is that you learned, like, what the team needs. So, like, at halftime, I think you had 7 points, 6 assists, and then you turned it on and had you scored 16 in the second half, I think it was. I mean, is that, like, a conscious decision? I'm going to need to score more?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just kind of try to read the defense as best as possible. And, if 2 guys are going to come to me, that means somebody else has to get the ball. It's kind of simple read. But in the second half, I knew, we needed some energy and just to get going. So, I was going to try to come out and make it a point to be aggressive. And like I said, the play was to score. So.
To the back.
Matt, we talked a little bit about your assists. This is for both of you. What does it mean that at any given point, all 5 guys on the floor can handle the ball on the perimeter?
Yeah, it means a lot because you can run anything and anybody's a threat from anywhere on the court, which is a big thing. We have Brooks and Nick posting up when I'm out setting screens off ball. I got me setting ball screens rolling. So it really just kind of just means that everybody's a threat. You got to always be on your toes and keep everybody watching.
Yeah, for either of you, can you guys kind of talk about what this non-conference schedule has kind of helped you prepare for obviously number 1 Purdue coming in on Friday? You've won in a variety of ways, whether it's coming from behind or getting off just fast starts.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it shows, our toughness in the group, and we're competitors. So, our main goal is to just come out and try to compete every night, and obviously we want to win. But the main thing is just focusing on getting better and sticking to our principles in the game plan and playing our hearts out. So that's kind of what we come into the game thinking, and we're just getting ready for Big Ten play. And we treat every game the same, whether it's a non-conference game or a Big Ten game. And because, like I said, we're just trying to focus on ourselves and getting better as a team.
Coach said for matchup Friday, no motivational speech is going to be needed. How do you guys as leaders, kind of get the locker room together and get them prepared for the matchup on Friday? Welcome in number 1 Purdue.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we got a lot of guys who've been there before. And, I think our leadership, we're really poised and, we're confident. So, we just got to be ourselves, like Coach said, there is no speech, none of that, It's just, like I said before, being ourselves and taking one day at a time, trying to get better. So we're going to listen to the scout and be ready to go Friday.
Any more questions? I'll wrap us up. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.